I'm Daniel. I am one of the nurses that works on the Integrated Discharge Service. What my job role is to help facilitate safe discharges that are also complex discharges within the hospital.
I'm Alia and I'm a field poverty advisor. Been here for 1 day a week for the last nearly 4 months now, helping patients that are worried about their heating as well as other bills, and patients that can't go home because they don't have any heating.
We took you pretty much around the hospital.
Yeah.
You met quite a few of the matrons, the other services, so we've got like the front door team through sort of pretty much every floor where patients will come into that will spend some significant amount of time. We've introduced Elliot, the physiotherapist know about him, the occupational therapist know about him, and the front door team as well. So when we're at board round and somebody goes, oh yeah, they're saying their heating's not broken, do they want a referral to Warm and Safe? Because I think even the referral for Warm and Safe is on the occupational front door team's paperwork. So there is a box at the bottom to say other services needed. So within my job role, you've got a lot of complex discharges, and the way that sort of fits in, it slots in very nicely, because I've had examples of patients come through, certainly that have been admitted mainly over winter, that don't have heating or anything like that, and they've just been sort of admitted because there's nowhere else, we can't send them back to a cold home. We had patients on there going, oh, you know, it's so cold, I can't even put my heating on, and I was there going, I don't really have anywhere or any advice that I could give you. And the fact is now that a lot of the time, if a patient asks me or a relative asks me on the ward, I can either give them the information pamphlets, and we've got loads of now all dotted around sort of the hospital, or go, well, if you'd like, I can refer you into that service. I can just quite easily turn to you and go, I've got this patient on this ward, and you know, or you would ask me, or if you've got anybody you think I should see, I could reel off a list of names. You would always come back and say, well, I spoke to this person and this is what we're doing with this one, or I spoke to Mr. Blogs and he's quite happy to go on to that priority service register. So yeah. I remember I had a really difficult case. It was a gentleman who had, basically he was going to have a tube in his throat for a long time. He wasn't managing that, and then it came out that he wasn't managing his bills at home, and he was going back to a cold house that he couldn't heat because it had high voltage ceilings. It was just like I had nowhere to sort of turn, and then I think you guys had just literally started, and it was like a godsend, because then I could just turn to Elliot and go, right, would this chap fit into the criteria? And it was very much a case of, well, yes, because of this and this. You went, I think, and spoke to him about it, and I think the problem that we had with him is he kept bouncing in and out, and he wasn't able to communicate on the phone. So it was a case of, okay, well, we'll text him or we'll email him, and so there was ways that we got around it as well, which was really good. But I think that came from that partnership of working together to come to a good conclusion for that one. I didn't know schemes like this existed, so now that know that they do, you know, I've even told like my grandparents, like who live up north, to see if there's a scheme in their local area. I mean, having a point of contact is brilliant, and having that partnership works really well. To be able to have a service that, if I've got a question or if I've got a concern about a patient, because ultimately my background is nursing, so you know, I'll always try and be that patient's advocate, and to be able to have that service that I can tap into, it's brilliant. And then continuing that support will be really good. Fantastic.
Yeah.
Helpful.
Tough from my end, but rewarding.
Maybe just get you like a big towel or something. That's Warm and Safe. Or get you walking around with those radiators that you have.